StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you to use those personal initiative, that is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is appreciating the casuals. Yes, the casuals. Before we get into what that means and why you should appreciate the casuals, whoever that is, let me remind you of two things. First of all, my daily motivation and Monday motivation text guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day or your week, respectively. All you got to do to receive those is text me at my number, which is 305-384-6894. And once we reactivate and start sending the text messages out again to everyone who's in our text community, make sure everybody's getting them, then you'll be in the community and you'll even get to choose how often you want to receive the messages. Just text us now. It's free to join. We'll have all your information. You'll hear from our bot when we're ready to start sending again, and then we'll go from there. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. If you would like to have me as your direct coach, if you would like to have access to all of our trainings, our courses, and our frameworks, if you would like to have me working with you hand in hand to walk you through with you to put your sales funnels, your marketing plans, your business systems, your processes together and make them work, or if you even would like to have us do it all for you, put your processes together, your systems together, your everything, done it for you, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. We have multiple options for how you can get involved and how you can engage with us and how we can help you take your thing based on mindset, strategy, systems, accountability, all based on implementation and producing results, how we can help you. Again, workonyourgameuniversity.com. With that out the way, let's get into today's topic, which again is appreciating the casuals. Now, this term casuals is a term that I was not familiar with. I don't know how long this has been part of the zeitgeist, but it's a term that I first started hearing when engaged in discourse about sports on X, which is the only social media app in which I engage in any type of commentary, which is X. And I often hear people using it, again, talking about sports when they're trying to demean other people who may not be as serious about the sport. Maybe they're not as hardcore a fan or as hardcore a watcher of certain things as compared to the person who is speaking. So the person who's speaking, let's say I'm a hardcore watcher of the NFL and I'm parked in front of my multiple TVs every Sunday watching all the games, but you're a person who only watches the Super Bowl. You don't even watch all the other games. You only watch the Super Bowl. So you might refer to the person who is who's only watching the Super Bowl as a casual. You're just a casual when it comes to football. You're not that serious about it. So therefore, you're not allowed to talk about it. That's how people kind of have used this term. So today I'm going to explain why we should appreciate the casuals, especially if you're a person who is in marketing or you're in sales. You should appreciate anybody who is a casual on the subject. Point number one, today's topic once again is appreciate the casuals. Number one, the casuals represent the masses of people. Now, if you're familiar with my work, you've heard me talk about the masses many times and tell you that most people, the masses, are average, mediocre, or worse. Most people do not get better in life. They become a certain type of person in their early 20s and they pretty much stay that type of person for the rest of their lives. Most people do not change, at least not for the positive. And when it comes to things like achievement, accomplishment, success, and personal growth, most people know nothing about it, and therefore you should not listen to anything that they have to say or follow anything that they're doing regarding those subjects. These things are still true. At the same time, here's what else is true. That if you want your idea, your product, your service, your thing to reach the masses of people, then you must embrace the casuals, because you can't reach the masses without talking to the casuals. It's impossible. See, if you only talk to the high level people, the high performing individuals, like type people who I want to work with and Work on Your Game University. See, if I wanted to take Work on Your Game University to the mass market, I can't only focus on the high level individuals who are serious about personal growth and getting better, because not enough of them. Not for me to reach the mass market. If I want to reach the mass market, I got to talk to the people who are average. I got to talk to the average people, because mass market means mostly average people. That's what it means. So in his book called The Tipping Point, author Malcolm Gladwell explained how any idea or concept takes off into the mainstream. If any of you don't know this, you should read the book The Tipping Point so you understand this. One of the key points for an idea to reach the masses, one key point is that an idea must reach the masses in order for the thing to take off. You see, if only a niche group of people know or care about a thing, then it can't take off because there's not enough people. You got to get everybody to care about a thing for it to take off. It has to hit critical mass at some point. Critical mass means it gets into the minds of the late arrivals, the late adopters, i.e. the masses, i.e. the average person. In order for something to take off, the average person has to care and has to know about it. Critical mass requires a bunch of people who may not be that serious about a thing to know about it and to acknowledge it. In other words, the casuals. All right, the casuals have to catch on to something in order for it to really take off. If the casuals ain't paying attention, you can never hit critical mass. Now, it does not necessarily make it a bad thing. All right, you can have a whole business, you can have an entire career and do very well for yourself, never engaging the casuals. But if you want your thing to take off and hit critical mass, you have to engage the casuals. All right, so this is just a choice. I'm just telling you what your options are. Okay. Critical mass requires a bunch of people, again, who may not be that serious. That, again, we call them casuals. For someone or something to become super famous, for example, being mainstream, to reach the consciousness of the masses, it has to reach the casuals, has to reach the average person. So, for example, I don't watch hockey at all. I don't know anything about hockey. I could not name 10 hockey players, but I know who Wayne Gretzky is. How is that? Because Wayne Gretzky's name reached the masses. When it comes to hockey, I'm not even a casual. I don't know what is underneath casual, but I'm not even that. All right, when it comes to hockey, but I know who Wayne Gretzky is because he made himself so famous that even I, who doesn't pay any attention to the things that he does, know about him. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to arrange my reel to my son's cartoons here while I'm recording at the same time. But I know who Wayne Gretzky is because his voice reached the masses, or the voice or the word of him reached the masses. You may not, for example, listen to R&B music, but everybody knows who Beyonce is, right? Even though you don't listen to her music. Or she recently put out a country music album, I heard, which I didn't listen to, but I know she did it. How do I know? Because everybody's talking about Beyonce. She has reached the masses. She has reached the casuals who don't even pay that much attention to what she's doing. You don't watch basketball, but you know who Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James are, right? This is what happens when you hit critical mass. Even people who don't pay attention at all to the thing that you do, they know about it. That's how you know you reach critical mass. And if you want to reach critical mass in anything you do, you must embrace the attention of the casuals and do whatever you need to do to get their attention and keep it, because otherwise your thing will never hit the tipping point. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is appreciating the casuals. Number 2, what does any of this have to do with marketing? All right, why am I talking about this? Well, I'm talking about hitting critical mass and getting people to know about you and Wayne Gretzky and Beyonce and Michael Jordan. What does any of this have to do with you and what you're doing in your business? The answer is everything. It has everything to do with you and what you're doing in your business. Because first of all, not everything is designed to go mainstream. Okay, as I said, not everything even needs to go mainstream. As a matter of fact, I will go as far as to say not everything can go mainstream. Even if everything and everyone was trying to, not everybody's going to make it, because human beings have a limited amount of attention. You can't pay attention to everything. Everything ain't going to make it mainstream, even if you try. There's not enough attention to go around for everyone to get that much of it. For example, I was at my dentist's office a couple of years ago, and he was telling me how he often speaks at dental conventions. Now, it appeared to me the way he was talking about his experiences there, because he knows I do professional speaking, and he sent me a link to one of his this online presentation he had done. And when I was looking at it, it appeared to me that this guy's pretty well known. My dentist, that is, he's pretty well known in the dental space. Like, if he goes to a dentist conference, he's somebody at a dentist conference. But I don't think he has a problem of getting mobbed when he goes to Whole Foods. I don't think anybody in the town knows who he is. He's a nobody amongst the masses of people, but in the dental industry, he's the guy. You get what I'm saying? So again, he don't have to go mainstream. I don't think he's trying to go mainstream. I don't think he's trying to be the most famous dentist in the world. I don't know if there even is a famous dentist. There are plenty of therapists who are not famous, but they have thriving businesses. And then you have somebody like Dr. Phil, who has gone mainstream. He's a therapist, probably not the best therapist, probably not even close to the best therapist, but he's the most famous one because somehow, some way, the guy hit critical mass. Again, so, and not everybody needs to do this. You can be successful without doing it, but not everybody can do it, even if everybody was trying. Okay, so not everybody is thinking about everything. Not everybody can. So you have to decide. This is a choice. Measure whether or not you need or want to reach the people who are not seriously engaged in the space in which you are working. All right, do you really want to reach people who are not that serious about it? Because that's what mainstream means. You're going to have a whole bunch of people who are not that serious. They are surface level interested in you. My interest level in Wayne Gretzky is surface level. I am not trying to learn how to skate. I don't want to know the details of anything that he did for the most part. I may read a book or something about him because I can always get an idea from a good book. But other than that, I'm not trying to go emulate his moves or anything like that because I don't care. I'm a casual when it comes to hockey, but I do know his name. So in order for Wayne Gretzky to be as famous as he is and accept that fame, he has to accept that a bunch of people like me who don't give a damn about the details of what he does know his name. He just had to accept that. If I want Work on Your Game University to go mainstream, well, guess what I got to do? I got to accept there's going to be a lot of casuals involved in the university, which means I probably going to have to offer a free level because they're not going to pay for something that involves personal and professional development. You're not going to get a bunch of casuals on that subject to spend money. It's not going to happen. And I don't want them people. And that's why the university, I don't want it to go mainstream. I don't want everybody to know about it. I want the right people to know about it. So this is a choice. Everybody understand what I'm saying here? This is a choice that you get to make. And let me not say never. Hey, maybe one day I will offer a free version just to get the masses in. Who knows? I might be able to convert some of them to being serious or semi-serious about their lives and their businesses. Maybe one day. We will see. As of today, no. So you got to make a choice. Are you okay with bringing some casuals into your world? Are you all right with them existing around you? Do you want people who do not follow your subject seriously to know about what you do and why you do it? Do you want that? Do you need them in order for your business to work? This is another important question. Do you need the casuals to care for your business to work? If you are doing something such as selling food, which is not as intimate a relationship as, let's say, something like coaching or consulting or personal training, then I think you can do pretty good with the casuals. I'm not a foodie. I'm not a person who's like gets excited about eating food, but I do eat food to live. Some people live to eat. Some people eat to live. I eat to live, meaning I eat enough to be taken care of physically. I'm not a foodie, but I will buy your food. And you should have no problem with me buying your food because we don't need to have an intimate relationship. I just come up to you and say, let me get that sandwich and some fries and a drink, and you sell it to me and I walk away. The whole transaction takes 5 minutes and it's gone. You never see me again. All right, so you don't need me to be serious about food. You don't even need to know my level of seriousness about food. All you need to do is sell me the food because it's a very light transaction, surface level depth that you and I had to go through in order for you to sell me some food. But if I'm going to do something like coaching you, you're going to be in my coaching program for a year. Now that's a little bit more depth. So this means I need to care a little bit more about who you are, what you're about, how you communicate, if you're the right fit for what we're doing, because I don't want any casuals in here because I'm going to kick you out anyway. So you got to decide based on the way your business is set up, what makes sense. Do you want casuals or do you not? Just understand what the casuals represent and what it means for the future of your business if you were to bring these people in. So do you need them in order for your business to work? Can you sustain a business with just people who are serious about you? This question. Can you sustain a business only working with serious people? See, what I do, my line of work, yes, I can sustain a business just working with serious people because I only want the serious people. My business is set up to only cater to people who are serious, and people who are not serious would never even come around what we're doing over here. So all of you who are here, understand you represent a very small percentage of the wider masses of people, which is exactly how I want it and exactly how we want to keep it. If you need or want your idea to go mainstream, folks, again, you must accept that you're going to have casuals in there, people who are not that serious. So it's your business to know whether or not this is necessary for you. Point number 3. We're talking here today about appreciating the casuals. Number 3, if you are in marketing or sales, remember that casuals have green money just like the serious people have green money. Should I say that one again? Did I say it too fast? Remember that when you are in marketing and sales, the casuals' money is just as green as the serious people's money. So when I see people going to professional sports competitions like the NFL or NBA to the games, I don't mean the players, but the fans, 97% of the fans who go to those games are casuals when it comes to the sport. When I see people going to a Miami Heat game, it's 20,000 seats in that arena. 19,000 of those 20,000 people at least are not hardcore basketball fans. I would say about 19,000, not hardcore. There might be 1,000 serious fans in there. When I say serious, I mean people who watch a bunch of games. They know like the bench players on other teams. Like they seriously follow basketball, period. They're not just going to the Heat game. They actually follow basketball and they happen to be going to a Heat game. Most of the fans are not that. Most of the fans are just going because it's an interesting thing to do. Go to a Heat game. It's an event. It's fun. You get to bring the family. You get some food. See the game in person. Maybe they show you up on a jumbotron and the kiss cam and all of that. That's how most fans end up in the seats. So the NFL and the NBA embraces the casual fan. That's why all of you know what the NFL is. All you know what the NBA is, right? I didn't have to explain that to you. All you know what it is, right? Because they've embraced getting the attention of the casual. You don't have to be a hardcore football or basketball fan to know what it is, because they made sure they went mainstream. They're super mainstream. And also, by the way, you can reach the mass levels of money when you go mainstream. You can reach a lot of money by staying on the serious people too. You're just not going to have the attention in the process of doing it, which might be a good thing for you. Again, depending on your desires, depending on how you want to run your business, how you want things to work for you rather. So most of the people who go to an NFL game, they cannot debate with you about stats or tell you what was happening in the sport even 10 years ago, because they don't know, they don't care, and they're not following it that close. Again, they're just there because it's fun. They are casual fans because it's entertaining, it's fun, it's a thing to do to go to the game. Without those 90%, 97% rather, of casuals at the game, if they didn't have that, the event is not an event. You see, if you only had hardcore people, then the event's not an event. Now, I go to marketing conferences sometimes that are really, really big conferences. I'm thinking of a few that I've been to. Grant Cardone's event, he's based in Miami, but he has it in different places. Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels event. These are both guys who have events where they have thousands of people in a room. And these are marketing and sales events. These are business-focused events. Most of the people who are in the audiences of these events, and I talk to these people, most of these people are not serious about their business. Most of the people who go to those events, even though it's a business event, they are not seriously invested in their businesses. They're doing business lightly, but they're not serious about their business. Even though they had spent money and bought a ticket and came to the event and all that stuff, they're just there lightly. Because if they were serious, then when I follow up with them, find out what they're doing, they would have actually done something. Most of these people don't do much. And again, I talk to these folks, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And then there are other events I go to where it's more intimate, where it might only be 100 people in a room. And these people have to be serious about what they're doing because it's a serious type of event. See, when you have the masses coming, then you have to entertain them. The event has to be much more of a show or a concert than just giving people information. But when you have the serious people, you can just give the information. You can leave out all the pomp and circumstance and all the strobe lights and all that. You don't have to do all that when you have only serious people in the room. So it depends on what kind of business do you want, what kind of customers do you want, how do you want to position yourself in the marketplace. These are all choices. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's just choice. Okay, so you have to decide what you're doing. The reason that the stage is valuable, folks, is because there are people in the audience. So with no one in the audience, it doesn't matter that you're on stage. All right, the more people in the audience, the more valuable it is to be on the stage. All right, that's just how the world works, how human nature works. So which speaking engagement do you think is more important? The one with 30 people in the room or the one with 30,000 people in the room? And the answer is the one with 30,000. That's the one that will be looked at as more important without knowing who the 30 or the 30,000 people are, just because there are more people. The stage is more valuable just because there are more people. However, think about it. That room that only has 30 people in it. What if that's the top 30 leaders from around the world? The presidents, the prime ministers, the whatever they call them, the kings from all over the world. They all met and there's 30 of them in the room and they're the audience and you're on that stage. Now that stage means a lot more, but understand those are serious people. See, if you got a room of 30,000 people, most of those people are not going to be serious just by law of averages. Everybody follow what I'm saying here? Because the audience is bigger, because there are more eyeballs and more attention. Attention is currency these days. As long as you know how to convert that currency into dollars, that attention currency into dollars, then it can be very valuable business-wise. You just need to understand, and again, and make choices about what kind of business you want. Do you want casuals or do you want to keep them away? Your choice. All that said, let's recap today's class, which is appreciate the casuals. Again, I heard this term on social media and people were trying to basically talk down and demean people who are not that serious about a thing. Point number one, the casuals represent the masses of people. In his book, The Tipping Point, author Malcolm Gladwell explains how any idea or concept takes off into the mainstream. One of the key ways is that it must reach the masses in order for the idea to take off. An idea cannot take off with only a niche audience. You got to get a lot of people to know or care about something in order for an idea to take off. Point number two, what does this have to do with marketing? Everything. Because not everything is designed to go mainstream, nor does everything need to go mainstream. I would say not everything can go mainstream, even if you are trying to make it go mainstream. It's just not enough room for everybody to get in. It's not enough attention for everybody to get it. And number three, if you are in marketing or sales, remember that casuals have green money just like serious people have green money. You just have to decide what kind of business do you want to have? How do you want to run your business? How do you want to make it work? All that said, text me so you're in my community. My number is 305-384-6894. Also, Work on Your Game University. You want to learn how to get your right people in your audience, your 30 people in the room who are the serious people, or you want to be one of those serious people, or if you want to reach the masses, your choice. We can strategize either way and we can make it work either way. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. We have different levels of how we can help you. Go to the university. Let's get started. Work workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all